I'm excited about reading that now that I'm on
Oh, yeah.
Christmas break.
And I can get you a copy if you'd like to, or whatever.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Get you one. So I'll be out here. And how do you pronounce your last name? Cano?
Kano.
Cano. Okay.
Hmm.
Good morning, everyone. Coach Stefan Rudolph coming straight to you from beautiful Escondido, California, out here at Kit Carson Park, getting my morning meditation in, enjoying the beauty, the ducks, the sunrise. Escondido's out here in North County, San Diego, and coming to you straight from Recovered Coaching. Check out my website, recoveredcoaching.com. If you're checking it out on YouTube or Facebook, maybe you know my story of overcoming obstacles, overcoming epilepsy, 25 years of alcoholism, overcoming addiction, everything else in life to be the strength in life and be the heart in life, and living with heart, now helping others in assisted living as well, with the published book of Living with Heart. And coming to you with a special guest today. I always get these guests that have an amazing story as well, and overcoming obstacles and overcoming the biggest things in life that are holding us back in life. And that sometimes comes from our mindset, from our heart. And when I heard her story, her name is Alexis, and she has a wonderful book out, and also, a website that's called the What If Diet Plan. And she's been helping others for quite a while now, and also overcoming, say, their own addiction, because I've had a sugar addiction for years. So when I came across her story, ironically, just about a week ago, someone had posted and kind of gave her a negative comment on her book, and it was really tough. And when I wrote back to her, we connected on Facebook, on Messenger, and just said, hey, don't let those negativities get you down. Use it as a naysayer, I call it. The naysayers should fuel us, and how we can grow and how we can live in a better life and a better mindset from that negativity that used to bring us down. So we started connecting on there. Alexis is from Texas, and the whatifdietplan.com. You can check it out. Alexis, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Oh my gosh,
Great.
yeah, that video, I mean, I couldn't message you fast enough. I just had to thank you for sending Note to the Naysayers to me. I
Yeah.
needed to hear that day. It really it shifted my whole perspective, my whole mind, and turned the FUs into thank yous. I love that.
And even when I said that about 5 years ago, and going through the hardest time. I say growing through, actually automatically going through and growing through the hardest time. A
Yeah,
lot of people were giving me crap about who I was growing into.
yeah,
What are you talking about being a life coach? How much money are you going to make? An author? What are you going to sell 1 million books? It's everything they kept saying. It was disheartening. It was
yeah,
making me not really cry, but just be upset as a man going, am I on the right path?
yes.
And am I doing the right thing? And listening to others was a negative influence. And so I was just like, F this, F that. And I said, I'm going to turn the F U's to thank yous. And I go like this and turn it into that. And people are looking at me like, well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do this. I have my degree. Then they have their life. You have yours.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what I like about your story. And also that one negative review. Now you have a great book. I haven't read it all, but just looking at it, it looks like a huge help to others. And
I
what you're
I
doing.
I certainly hope so. I wrote this book, The What If Diet Plan. It is basically a story of my weight loss journey. I grew up struggling with weight, struggling with food. I guess you'd call it a food addiction since
Yeah.
childhood. And I have a before picture at my heaviest. I'm at least 230 pounds. I know I'm a size 20. And I say at least 230 because I didn't own a scale. I wasn't very health conscious at all. I didn't know a calorie or anything like that. I knew fat was bad because everyone knew that back in the 90s, but that's about it. And I discovered intermittent fasting completely by accident in high school. But the thing is, back then, there was no such thing as intermittent fasting. So although it worked for me and it worked well, and I didn't feel hungry, and I was able to cut that food addiction, I was very secretive about it because I didn't want people to think I was starving myself or I had
That's what it
an
was called
eating
back then,
disorder.
starving.
Yeah,
You're not eating.
exactly. There
It
was
was
no such thing
it
as
was like
fasting or intermittent fasting. So I go through my journey where I discover it. Then I go through all these. I started learning about health and nutrition, and then going through all these crazy diets and just trying to keep my weight down, because that whole time I associated, I was feeling better about myself, obviously, and I always associated that to the weight loss. Come to find out, it had nothing to do with the weight loss. It had to do with my mindset. It had to do with the questions I was asking myself, our beliefs. We have so many different beliefs around food and culture and body image. So finally, in 2018, I was very big into meditation. That's the other thing that drew me to your story, how you used meditation to overcome epilepsy. I find that incredible. I discovered meditation. I was very, very big into it, deep into it. Through that, I discovered a very obscure documentary on Amazon Prime called The Science of Fasting. And for some reason, when I saw it, I thought it was going to be about meditation, like monks meditating and fasting in the mountains. So I watched it, and that's where I learned about fasting and the benefits of fasting. And right away, if you read the book, I'm like, no, don't do it, because I kind of remembered back when I used to do that naturally. And finally, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to focus on my weight. At that point, I had already made up my mind. I'm 200 pounds. I've got 3 children. I'm in the master's program. I'm doing national presentations for my work. I have a good life. Who cares if I'm chubby? Who cares if, what this looks like? And I really began just loving myself for who I was. But then that's when I kind of started asking myself, well, what if fasting is not bad for me? What if I have some beliefs that I can go through and I can change? What if this is something I can try and not put all my hopes into it, or not focus again just on the weight? So I created 3 promises that I would make myself in order to stay on this plan. And then I called it, I mean, it just came to me like a light bulb, the what if diet plan. If standing for IF, intermittent fasting. And I mean, I got so
I didn't even
enamored
know
with,
that. That's a
yeah.
wonderful acronym there.
I was like, and again, I was very secretive about it. I didn't tell anybody. Now that back in 2018, intermittent fasting was already kind of a thing, but I live in South Texas, coming from a Hispanic background and a very Hispanic culture here. Again, fasting, and now it's more mainstream, but still, we still have a lot of cultural beliefs about not eating, or about food and how much we should eat and when we should eat. We eat for everything. We eat when we're happy, we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're celebrating. If you're not eating, there must be something wrong, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's pretty much what the book is about. And then I also take you through the steps that I used. I call them 3 phases that I used, how I started questioning my beliefs, and how I started asking myself good what if questions. Because that's the other thing I noticed is I was constantly asking myself, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work? What if I end up ruining my body even more? And I realized those questions are not helping me. What if that doesn't happen? What if this is something that will benefit me? It's just incredible how asking those questions, I mean, it's a I call it a mind shift. It really
Yeah,
is. Yeah. And
that's the questions that come into play. It's called, also I call it the holy shift,
okay,
because
yes.
you get tired of saying F this and F that. What if I don't make it? What if I have another seizure? That was the biggest thing too. What if
Oh,
seizure? What if I drink too much? It was
mhm.
always, but then you turn into that. So
Yeah.
what you think about, you bring about, right? From Wayne
Mhm.
Dyer and others. And
Oh,
it's the mindset, and you become it without even, because you run in fear. And that's probably what you were
exactly.
doing before, right?
Oh, definitely. Everything I did was out of fear. And even now, some things are still, but I've learned, and I love it. You kind of talk about it in that video, Note to the Naysayers. I'm now trying to use my fear to fuel me, rather than stop me, rather than just, oh, no, that's it. It was a bad idea. Let's not do this. And even the book, kind of came out of fear. I started it as first of all, I started writing because I was angry when I found out that fasting was actually not a bad thing. I wasn't starving my body. I wasn't ruining my metabolism. So I really just started writing out of anger, out of frustration. I couldn't believe I had gone through so many years obsessing over food and counting calories, and oh, it just irked me so much. And then so it started as just a Word document, then a personal blog. I used a pen name. I didn't even want anyone knowing I was writing about it. And I've always been very secretive of my past weight gain. Um, when I lost the weight in high school, I was able to kind of maintain up and down. I never got back up to 230 pounds, even when I got pregnant. But at the same time, I struggled so much to keep the weight down because I was just going through all these different diets. Um, and gosh, I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Sorry, but uh,
Oh no, that's fine.
yeah.
That's basically on the mindset of overcoming obstacles and
Mhm.
being able to. What I'm hearing right now too is the mind shift from living in that state of fear and
Yeah.
living in the past life. You know what happens is our ego, that program that we've had in our mind, blocks down the spirit. I say the
Yes.
heart. The heart wants to come out and become this wonderful, beautiful lady, say of losing weight and helping others, and then the mind says, no, you can't do that. You've always been like this. Accept
Yes.
it. And it's a
Oh, yes.
battle, right? And I say
Exactly.
that naysayer thing is the mouthful of excuses right in between, because you have passion and you
Hmm.
have action. And the passion comes up here, but then the excuses say, you're going to fail, don't do it. And then you keep listening, right? We would keep listening to that and going. I went back to drinking, you went back to eating. It's the same type of addiction I feel in all of us in one area
Yes.
or another, right?
Definitely. Yeah. And yeah, exactly what you just said. Again, going back to the secrecy, it's like I wanted to help people. I had this passion to help people, but I was just so scared to put my story out there. And, again, all those little thoughts, all those negative thoughts. Well, who hasn't done this? Lots of people have lost this. People have lost more the weight than you. People have, just going on and on. And finally, I had to get over myself and just, what? If I can help even one person by writing this book, that's it. That's all I need. And I've gotten great feedback from it. Uh, you know, and again, that's where in the beta reader stage, I got some great feedback, and again, if I can help even one person who reads this
Or
book,
if
if I
you
can
can have
connect
that
with
one
people.
person. I remember what she wrote. I think it was a she. It was a 1-star rating on your
Yeah.
Amazon, and it said something. What did it say exactly? Remember?
It said, oh, I remember
Yeah.
because it hit me right where it hurt. It said, not helpful, just her story, something like that. Or just a story about herself. But I
Oh
remember
yeah,
the
that's
not
it. It's
helpful.
a story about yourself,
Yeah.
making you sound egotistical, making you sound about you.
Yes.
And first thing I
Yeah.
thought was, it is about me. And then in my sobriety and AA and places like that, they say you have to think about yourself and put yourself first.
Hmm.
And people say, oh, well, you're a narcissist or you're focused on yourself. Well, you have to be. And it's not narcissist, it's more like becoming the new you.
Yeah.
And even what I went through, and people sometimes said that, I go, if I want to be sober, I have to love myself first before you can love others,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Your same story, I think, because it's an addiction. It was. And
Hmm.
maybe go into the fact that, do you still fall off sometimes, or is it hard, or what do you
Oh,
do?
for sure. Yeah. And it's gotten much easier. I think what it is it's gotten easier, one, to catch myself, and two, to have grace. That is one thing I've learned, um is that I must have grace for myself. And I'm going to credit that to my good friend who is a licensed professional counselor and a life coach. Her name is Angel Hoodie. And that was one of the things that she told me: you must have grace for yourself. I was constantly beating myself up anytime I would mess up or I'd fall off the wagon, or anything like that. And I write about that in the book too. There are some days, with again, being in line with the intermittent fasting, there are some days when I'm not hungry until 7, 8 o'clock at night, and that's okay. And then there are some days I get home and I'm ravenous and I eat a burger and fries and I put in there and a donut or three. It happens, And again, we're not perfect. We're not these machines. I think we have this idea that if we just figure it all out, if we just figure out the chemistry, the biomechanical ways that our body works, that we'll just fix it. And no, we are spiritual beings, and we are ever changing, ever evolving. It's just, there's just so much to it, that mind body connection.
Yeah, we're not, Wayne Dyer said we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, we're a spiritual
Yes,
human experience. And I didn't
exactly.
connect with that because so long in our lives, I feel that there's a program that we go through from elementary school, junior high, high school, get your degree, graduate, then go on and get your undergraduate and then your master's, and then you get there and people become doctors and whatever they want financially, but they're not happy. That's
Mhm.
where I was in life, selling
Yeah.
pharmaceutical drugs and living a six-figure life, but I was
Wow.
still missing something. It was something that was gone. And then also we can talk about paradigms and blocks because we get there. And you're saying the exact same thing in addiction. I just didn't feel worthy, or I didn't feel right, so we eat again, or I
Yeah.
drink again, and then you can't do it. Comes into what if you fail? What if you get to that point? So there's the paradigm, and then the where you want to get. But every time we get here, the what ifs bring us down, right?
Yeah, definitely. Depending on what if you ask, yes. And I have to bring this up because in the book I talk about asking yourself good what if questions, but once I kind of realized after publishing it, I never really talk about, well, what are good what if questions. So I'm working on that on my website. I'm trying to provide as many free resources, free tools. When I wrote this book, I wrote it to help other people. So if even if you can find helpful advice on my website, go for it. I just put on there what I call my what if mind shift worksheet, and it's the actual process that I went through to reach my goals, to overcome obstacles, and it just kind of outlines it there for you. This is the same thing I did again throughout my weight loss journey, throughout my getting or obtaining my master's degree, caring for my children, caring for myself. I never really had a format that I thought of, but again, after a while, I kind of realized, oh, I do see a format. I kind of saw what I was doing, so I just put it in a worksheet. And I'm telling you, if you use it, anyone who goes on there, if you use it, I guarantee you, it will help you, or it helped me. And I've given it to other people, and they said that it has helped them as well. So please feel free to go and download that free resource. It is available to anybody, whether you buy the book or not. So.
That's perfect. And it's at whatifdietplan.com, right?
Yes, www.thewhatifdietplan.com, all one word.
Okay. And do you have a Facebook page, or is that the best place to reach you on your website?
Uh, I do have a Facebook page. It's also the What If Diet Plan. So definitely feel free to reach out to me there. Go and look. I'm always trying to post. I posted your video. I'm always trying to post motivational, encouraging things on there. So I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. Again, the whatifdietplan.com. I don't think anyone else has that available. So you should be
But
able
what
to
if they
find me.
do? What if they don't? You're
What
leading the way.
if?
I really think that, and because the way we connected too, you're at that stage where I just noticed, like, don't worry about it, but at the same time it's good that we notice it,
Yes.
because that person is most likely overweight and struggling, and
Yeah.
those people that tried to bring me down were in my bar career, were in my drinking buddies that aren't here now. 98% of them are gone. There's a few close friends I still have, but they were trying to be like, why are you stopping? Like, because I had, remember my story, multiple DUIs, jail, bankruptcy, homelessness, everything. And when I got out, they wanted me to drink again.
Yeah.
But why do you have people like that? If you're trying to lose weight and you're losing 20 pounds and you're looking good, then those people look at you that are still struggling and they say, well, come on, let's go get a pizza.
Yeah.
Let's go get some ice cream.
I really, I try to believe, I think they have the best of intentions, I really do. It's again, kind of going back to culture. Food is fun. Food is celebration. If you are not eating, you must be denying yourself. So I think a lot of times people have good intentions. They want to care for you. And I'm totally guilty of it. You can ask anybody who comes to my house. I am always feeding people. I'm always, trying to make them whatever they want to eat. And so again, but I've learned that if somebody doesn't feel like eating, I'm not going to push it on them. So again, I think people have good intentions. I would hope your buddies they just wanted you to have fun, and what's wrong with a little drink here and there, but not realizing that for you, that was not the right thing. It wasn't helping you at all.
Yeah, give them love, right?
Yeah, try. Even my one-star reviewer, it's like I think about it, and I've never, maybe it's just my personality. I've read some books that I thought were pretty stinky, and I would never give them a one-star review. Good for them for writing that book.
It's
But
just not for you. Yeah.
yeah, and so there must have been something going on, um, where she felt the need to do that. I don't know, and more power
Well,
to
that's
her.
the people that say it's not going to work. You know, it's what I've never heard of that before. I've never done that before. It's never happened. And
Yeah.
that's anywhere from the entrepreneurs out there that have started their own businesses and then grow. People always say that along the way. They said, I heard one author, I can't remember if it was Les Brown or who, but he said, once you hear people talk crap about you and try to bring you down, the more people you hear, the more you know you're on the right path.
Oh no.
You're living with passion and you're living with heart and you're
Mhm.
doing your thing, and you got one now out of, let's say you get 99 5-star reviews, but that one is
Yeah.
like, why did that person think that? I can't believe
Mhm.
that. But I think it's going to help her or that whoever she is or he out there when you are doing this again and again. It's really just planting a seed. You know, that anger can be a seed in us too.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
where that naysayer thing comes from, because they kept bringing me down with trash talk about me,
Hmm.
and I kept falling for it and getting sucked back in
Yeah.
and shifted my life. So
It's
on the
much easier to fall into it than to break free from it. Uh,
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
definitely.
accept it and give love, like you said. That's a big part too.
Oh yeah.
Also, tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now with your work and helping others too.
Oh man. Well, so yes, I have a regular 9 to 5. I work at a university. I work as a senior international student advisor with, I won't say the university's name just in case, but with a university here in Texas, a beautiful one. And I've been doing this job for 10 years. I help international students get their documents that they need to get their student visa, come here and study, and I absolutely love it. Again, I've been doing it for 10 years. I can't imagine doing anything else. So that was one of the other kind of naysayer things. Well, what are you going to do with this book? What are you going to become a weight loss coach? Are you going to? And I have to be honest. I don't know. I want the book to help people. I'm willing to help people. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to talk to you. But I really don't have any career plans right now as far or changes in mind. I love my job. I get to help people every day. I get to see these students come in from these countries that I've never been to. I hope I can visit all of them at some point. And they come here with nothing but the clothes on their back, living in these tiny little apartments, probably sleeping on the floor, some of them, and just working their tails off. And then they get their degrees and they go off and they get these amazing jobs with Amazon, with Tesla, with HP. I mean, there's so many more. And I just love it. I love when they graduate and they send us their offer letters and I see that they're making 100 grand. They're making 3 times more than I am, which blows my mind. And I just love it. It's like getting to see a success story every day. It's just great. It motivates me. It really does. So that's what I
Yeah,
do in
that's
my line of
like a
work.
fuel for you, and you realize your passion, and that's another thing too, is you got to find your passion with your heart,
Mhm.
because I was there physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I was lost, but I was making all this money.
Yeah.
So when you see this and you're connecting with people that are coming from the bottom, and you're right, usually those are the most successful, either people that have lost it and come back, or people that start from the bottom and know what it's like. Because if you're spoon fed all your life and you come from a 6-figure family or more, you're just given everything. Here's your degree, here, good luck. You see people blowing up, drugs, alcohol,
Oh yeah.
weight gain, eating, escapism, I call it, right?
Mhm.
Because they don't know what their passion is. Now, if you don't have anything and you come from the bottom, and you work your way up, you know what it was like. And you don't want to go back, right?
Definitely, definitely, yes. And even generationally, kind of going off tangent, but still in line with my story. I am a survivor of childhood abuse. And, that was one of those other things growing up. I never wanted a family. I never, not because I didn't want one, but because I had that fear. I was so scared that I would have a family and I would fall into the same thing, alcoholism and drug abuse and eventually child abuse. So for years, I didn't even want to be married. And, fortunately, I have my wonderful husband. We've been married for, I think, almost 15 years. Don't even ask me when my wedding anniversary is. That's horrible, but we love each other. That's all that matters. We've been together for since 2001, I believe. And now we have 3 children. And I mean, I just, that alone is just, for me, huge. I love being a mother. I love that I have 3 crazy little boys and that I'm able to love them in a way that, I got a lot of love from my family, from my mother. Um, Unfortunately, my father was the one that was into drugs and alcohol and other things. So to be able to change that dynamic and now be the person that I never thought I could be for my family. So again, just it's just funny how this goes. It goes for everything. It really does. The mind shift, the holy shift.
Yeah.
You just change
Everything when
your
you
life.
look back, because some people, and I know one in particular, she's stuck at in a mindset of still being 18,
Mm,
16. I think she went through similar abuse.
yeah.
So it's a fear of not having a relationship because that relationship hurt her, right? The first one you think of when you love is your parents, those closest to you when you're a child. Now, if there's abuse involved, that's hard, and you don't want to go back, but then you don't awaken to the fact that I'm holding myself back. All of a sudden, you're 25, you're 32, 39, 46, and you're still like that.
Oh, it's scary. It is
Yeah,
scary. Yeah.
that's where your book comes into play, and I really believe in that too. Is the weight that I lost, 50 pounds, and then the same thing. I
Mhm.
went from 20 down to about 168, I think, at one time, riding my bike. Mine's a little different story because I lost my driver's license, because of alcohol. So I rode a nice bike and I was burning weight and I felt great. And
Yeah.
then, but it came into another addiction of sugar because alcohol breaks down to sugar. When I
Yes.
didn't drink, I had to eat sugar. I had to find a reward mechanism. That's
Yes.
another thing
That
too. We can
dopamine.
have
Yeah.
another talk about that, about how it works more. Rewarding myself at night with chocolate, with Hershey's, with crap.
Mhm.
I'd burn 2,000 calories riding, but then I'd eat a pizza and just carbs. It was like I couldn't get beyond that stage of trying to keep the weight off.
Yeah.
Even so, I can
Oh,
relate to what you're saying.
it is so hard.
Yeah.
And
Well, great. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, and that's where intermittent fasting helped me personally. My taste changed. I don't crave that stuff anymore, which I never thought was possible. I mean, I was constantly thinking about food, thinking about my next meal. Even when I was eating healthy, I was thinking about how many calories I could eat, what foods could I fit into my diet at the time. It's just crazy. It's like even when you're not eating the food, you're still thinking about it. There's still that addictive factor
You're
there.
not even hungry sometimes, right? Most of the time,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just thinking
I
about
don't
it.
even think I didn't even know what hunger was. I didn't know what it felt like. It's crazy, yeah. But no, I love that. I love how again, it just all different facets of life, the the mind shift, the mindset, how it really can help being that awareness. I mean, it can help in anything, definitely.
I love that acronym too. I keep thinking about that if because Les Brown says false evidence appearing real for fear.
Mm,
That was a big shift for false evidence appearing real. You keep thinking, what if? Now,
yeah.
intermittent fasting, that's that acronym that says, I'm just going to do it. And actually, ironically, yesterday I did that for about 18 hours. And I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I broke it because I had soup. I had chicken broth soup,
Mhm.
but it just felt better to kind of clear myself.
Yeah.
I get home and
Yeah.
it
Oh,
didn't
for
feel
sure.
good. You wake up good, but then we start realizing that, right?
Oh yeah, and just nourishing, you realize how much better you feel when you're nourishing your body with good food. It's crazy. Again, I think a lot of times we have this diet mentality of deprivation, and no, it's not deprivation. That's really what your body's craving. It's just that it's kind of stuck in this this loop, and it's about breaking free from that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. And well, it's wonderful speaking with you, Alexis. And again, give the contact information, our best way to get a hold of you.
Yes, you can reach me on my website. It's www.thewhatifdietplan.com, or you can email me. My email is alexis@thewhatifdietplan.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm there, and my full name is Alexis Cano.
All right. Well, great to see you again. And during this time, the ducks have been
I love them.
quacking, getting fed over here. I don't know if you can see that, but
Yeah,
sounded like they were laughing at me before when you were saying that. They were laughing, but they were trying to get attention. And now
yeah,
this lady's over here feeding the ducks and, getting fed as we're talking about food and everything. I thought that was ironic.
yeah.
But
Right.
yeah,
That's my favorite part of your videos is the ducks, by the way.
yeah, I'll come out here more often. But thanks everyone for checking it out. Please subscribe, like, and share. Hit Alexis up. Hit me up if you have any questions at recovercoaching.com. It's Coach Stefan Rudolph. You have a beautiful day and a blessed life.
Thank you so much.